Everything is back to normal. Traffic, listening to Justin Bieber, 15 minutes to find a parking spot near my work. There's just one more thing missing to make everything normal. It's something that I haven't had in a while, and I can't wait to have it right now. Thank you. And that is a good coffee. I miss them so much. Oh, it's as good as I remember it. It's so good. I could have made one at work, but I miss coffee so much that I really wanted to have a very, very, very good one. And this one, it's pretty good. It's 5:40. I'm going home now. I'm back and daylight savings is gone, which means it's getting dark pretty early. I don't like when it gets dark early. I've also just been hit in the last hour with some jet lag tiredness, and I'm not the only one. Amelie has been asleep for 2 hours and doesn't want to wake up. Shelly moved her to the living room and has been like picking her up and stuff, and she just goes back to laying and closing her eyes. As long as she goes to bed at a reasonable time and wakes up after 6, it will be good. Oi! My goodness, what is this?
This is called jet lag.
What is this? Oi! Fofinha! Wow. I fell asleep last night. Did you see how tired Emily was when I got home last night? Yeah. After Shelly and I managed to kind of wake her up and give her some food and then put her to bed, I was gone. I was gone. There was no hope for me to stay awake at all. I went straight to bed as well. But I did promise 2 things. Number 1, a review of my experience of vlogging while traveling. And number 2, a review of my travel with Qantas in that specific situation. I'm going to explain what that specific situation means in a moment. Number 1, vlogging while traveling. First thing to note is that this wasn't like, it was a very specific trip. I was with family a lot of the time. So it wasn't like Shelly and I and Amelie went on a trip and then we could do whatever we wanted at any time we wanted. I was involved with family and I'm not complaining. I was really happy that's what we're doing. The first difficulty is, well, Brazil is 13 hours behind Australia, which meant it was very complicated to keep the schedule of everything with the vlog. You know, I have the 2 p.m. Australian Standard Time upload time, but that wasn't possible in Brazil because 2 p.m. would be at midnight, and there was no way I could finish the vlog and edit and upload by midnight. Absolutely no way. And in fact, for most days at midnight I was done. I had to go to sleep. I couldn't finish editing because I was so tired. Jet lag gets you, you know? It's crazy, it's crazy. So first difficulty was keeping the schedule, which I kind of did. I delayed the schedule a little bit and tried to keep the same time, but again, because we were spending a lot of time with family and that was my priority, I never stopped talking to my family to go and edit my vlog. I tried to do it at times when there was nothing happening. So sometimes after lunch we'll sit in the house for 2 hours and I could very much just go to a room and edit my vlog in 2 hours, but I would rather talk to my grandparents because I don't know when I'm gonna see them again. You know, might be in a year, might be in a year and a half. And that's what I did. Just playing with Amelie, talking to family, and I think it was a great choice. I did have to prioritize one thing over another. Obviously, it would have been different if I was on a trip by myself, like a work trip or something, or if it was just Shelly and I and Amelie. We could have planned our day in a different way. We wouldn't be depending on other people's schedules as well. We didn't have a car, so we used my mom's car for everything. Whenever we went somewhere, we'll depend on her. I didn't drive at all. I could have, but I didn't want to, didn't care. So that made things a bit more complicated when it comes to scheduling my own way and scheduling the vlog around whatever we're doing. I had to literally find space somehow after everyone's asleep, sometimes in the morning, right while we're having breakfast, sometimes driving from one place to another. I'll get my laptop and edit as much as I could. It wasn't easy, but I did make a video every day, every single day. And I'm really happy about that. Another thing that was a bit annoying, not really annoying, but you know, when I make a video daily, you want interesting things to put in the video. Otherwise, people might not want to watch the video. You want to have interesting titles, you want to have interesting thumbnails, you want to have interesting content. And for some days, all we did was hang out with family. That was interesting to me, but that's not interesting to everyone. It wasn't easy to find stuff to film and to do. And then number 2, the trip. This is what happened. I had originally booked a return flight from Brazil that would leave Florianopolis at 6 in the morning, arrive in São Paulo at like 7ish, and then leave São Paulo in 2 hours and arrive Chile, and then 2 hours later leave to Australia. But then the flight from Florianopolis to São Paulo was cancelled like a month later, and then they put me on the next available flight, which would make me arrive in Chile 4 hours after the flight that I was supposed to get in Chile would leave, which meant I would miss that flight. So I called Qantas in to see what was going on, and they changed things around, and then the only option was for me to spend the night in Santiago in Chile, which is not necessarily a bad thing, except that Qantas said they would not be giving us a hotel because it was not their fault, it was the other airline's fault. The domestic flights inside Brazil were not Qantas flights, they were LATAM flights. And I'm like, what the heck, I bought the flights with you. Obviously you are the ones responsible. I don't care who's providing the service to you, I paid money to you, Qantas, what's going on? I could have bought the flights directly with LATAM. I specifically chose Qantas because I like Qantas customers. They are great. Qantas is just so great. You fly Qantas, the customer service on the plane is great, out of the plane is okay, it's not bad. I really like Qantas. Let me just reiterate that I'm not being paid by Qantas to say any of this, to do any of this review. No one is paying me anything to do this. But that was really annoying. First, it took me 1 hour on the phone waiting to talk to someone from Qantas. And then when I finally talked to someone, they said they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything? I was traveling with a toddler and they couldn't. I couldn't believe it. The only thing they did was contact LATAM on my behalf and see if they could get a hotel through them, which was not successful. So I complained on Twitter, and Qantas is really good at replying to tweets, especially if you're complaining. And then I DM'd them, and then we exchanged the thing. They still said they couldn't do anything. It was pretty annoying. And then I contacted LATAM directly, and then it went through this whole thing, and they also said they couldn't do anything. At that point, I was pretty disappointed at Qantas. I couldn't believe it, so I complained again, and then they gave me 5,000 freaking flyer points. With 8,000 points, I can get a flight to Melbourne on economy plus taxes. So it was even less than the value of a flight to Melbourne. But it looked at that was the only thing that I was gonna get. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll do my own thing. I'll figure it out. So now we had two options. We could spend the night at the airport or go to a hotel outside of the airport, across the street from the airport. My original idea was just to pay the hotel and stay in the hotel for a night so we could rest. But turns out that for an Australian citizen, which Shelley is, I am as well, but I'm also Brazilian and Amelie's also Brazilian. Shelley would have to pay like $150 just to enter Chile. The hotel was not inside the airport, it was outside, so that meant you had to go through immigration and pay that fee, plus the hotel fee, which made that option a little bit too expensive. So I thought, well, we're flying premium economy on the way back. If I get an upgrade to business, at least we can sleep on the plane, because business class on Qantas is a full flat bed, and if we did get upgraded to business, that also would mean that we have access to the lounge where we could rest better than at the airport. Santiago's airport is like, it's so bad. It's just so bad. It's bad. But, and you would know this if you watched the $118 shower, my business class upgrade was declined, which meant we didn't have access to the lounge, and we also didn't have a flat bed. What I decided to do was to pay a day pass to go to the lounge, so we didn't have to suffer through the horrendous airport and the very loud announcements all the time, which meant that we wouldn't get any rest at all. And that was a great decision, because we could have a shower, there was some food there, I didn't spend with any food or drinks at the airport. It was a great place to rest. It just cost me some money that Qantas is not gonna pay me back, and no one is gonna pay me back, because I didn't have travel insurance before the flight was cancelled. If I had travel insurance before the whole thing happened, I think I would be able to claim the hotel, the visa, all that kind of stuff. It would be all fine. But unfortunately, I didn't have that. And the flight, even though it was premium economy, I was like, oh, it's not a flat bed, I don't know if we're gonna be able to sleep. But the greatest thing happened. We were able to swap with another guy that was in a row by himself. So we had 4 seats just for us. That meant that I had a seat, Shelley had a seat, Amelie had a seat. We didn't pay a seat for her because she's under 2, you don't have to. And it was the greatest thing ever. She slept, we rested, and Qantas Premium Economy is just, it ruined me for anything else. I don't ever want to fly economy when I'm traveling with family again. If it's just me, I don't care, I sleep on anything. But with Amelie, gosh, that thing ruined me for life. And Qantas customer service, as I said before, is just great. But in premium economy is so much better. Every time I pressed the button to call someone, I didn't have to wait more than 20 seconds. They will literally just pop up and look, who is calling us? What do you want? And let me just say, they were very helpful with everything, helping Emily go to sleep, with the whole, it was just really, really good. At the end of the day, it was probably better than flying business, because I don't think we'll be able to get 3 seats in business. But the fact that we got 4 seats in premium economy, just like that was awesome. So there you have it, my comprehensive review of the whole problem that we had with Qantas and how it turned out to be okay. The only thing is I had to pay the lounge. I will never get that money back, but other than that, everything was fine. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. My favorite comment from the $118 shower is from XP's, where he says, tell me the truth, if you like him just a bit, you know who. I don't know who you're talking about, But if you mean Justin Bieber, sure. And if you mean Casey Neistat, yes, there was a reference to a video where he made when he flew first class on an Emirates plane, and then he showed the shower of the plane. The whole shower scene was kind of a reference to that video. So if that's what you meant, yeah, spot on.